Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the missing live stream. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. A little word to the moderators. Keep an eye on the stream tonight. We may have some disruptive people come in later on. You never can tell. Tonight we are going to discuss a case of Barry Morphew and Chris Watts, how that they actually the two individuals and their cases kind of have a lot of the same similarities. Not saying that Barry is guilty of anything, but it's just something that we want to examine. Let me scoot back here a little bit. Also, after that, I want to discuss another missing persons case that we will cover. I always try to do that no matter what. Discuss some other missing person case besides the updates we're giving on the Morphew case. I'm not letting the Morphew case die. I'm continuing to bring it in. I had a good email from a member of extended family today, and they thanked me personally for keeping the case alive. So I'm going to do that. We're going to look at the similarities of the two cases. Now, again, and I get a lot of hate in the emails for this and hate in the stuff, but you know what? It's my channel. I'm going to do it the way I want to do it.
All right.
We're not making accusations. We're only discussing similarities. First off, I wanted to cover some of the stuff that I looked into today, and some of the stuff that I noticed right off the bat that, Barry went on TV about 10 days later, and we discussed the body language that he had and some of the body language he did. And then I looked at, I'm going to play that same tape as we always do, and then I'm going to play the Chris Watts, and you just see if there's any type of similarities that you see in this. Somebody brought up too about the Peterson case also that he was, it's very similar to that.
Oh, Suzanne, if anyone is out there that can hear this, that has you, please, we'll do whatever it takes to bring you back. We love you, we miss you, your girls need you. No questions asked. However much they want, I will do whatever it takes to get you back. Honey, I love you, and I want you back so bad.
Okay, and now listen to Chris.
I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids. But I mean, could she just taken off? I don't know. But if somebody has her and they're not safe, like, I want them back now. Like that's what's in my head. Like, if they're safe right now, they're gonna come back. But if they're not safe right now, that's the not knowing part. Like, if they're not safe, last night I had every light in the house on. I was hoping that I would just ran over by the kids running in the door and just like barrel rushing me, but it didn't happen. And it was just a traumatic night trying to be here.
Did you notice his head? It's just barely moving. No, same thing with what Barry did. No, he did it the whole time. It's like body language is very similar, and he did just like that. He's just, I want you back. And I thought about something too. I apologize. This table's moving back and forth a little bit.
It's your wife.
It's my wife over there trying to do something. But I noticed that both of these, he first off too, Barry says, if somebody has you, when before he was saying he called Morgan Gentile and told her that an animal had got her. You know, he called crying an animal had got her. And he went with this animal theory, and then he went now he's doing the kidnap theory. He's not, he can't make up his mind or what kind of story he wants to tell. But, you know, it's just, they had a lot of similarities in that. Another similarity I noticed about this case was that they both want to move. They wanted to move away from the house. And, you know, they put their house up for sale. Chris was actually talking on, Chris was actually talking to the realtor had text messages, and they had it on his phone about talking about putting up, realtors putting it up. What's the matter?
Nothing.
And this is, you know, right here, you know, Watts realtor reaches out to people, and Chris Watts chats with her about the current state of the home market and basically looking for a new home. And this Barry buys some land. He went ahead and bought a lot. And there's a thing where he applies, apparently in Colorado, and some of you can tell me that there's a water rights determination, and whether or not, you know, that you can get water in certain situation, or I don't know, if you dig a well or whatever. So you know, that's another thing. One reason, and I never can get this, if you've got a missing person in your family, whether it's your wife, your daughter, anybody that lives in your household, why do you want to move? I mean, you know, I heard there's a family that I heard about in Nashville that I was looking at the case where the girl had been missing like 20 years, and they refused to move because they always wanted her to know where her house was, that she could come back to it. And I kind of thought that was really, really strange. Now, I've heard people say, well, he's buying this lot where he can, his mother can move to and everything. But houses in this area are running, I've heard, about $600,000. So I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. But that's been kind of a, you know, a thing where they want to move for whatever reason. Also, with Chris, there was a girlfriend involved. This is her, Chris' girlfriend. She says she came on TV right after all this and said that she never knew he was married, that she thought he was separated from her. So he actually went places, and while I understand his wife took 4 weeks or 3-4 weeks and went on vacation somewhere, and he had to stay home and work. But he went on a ski trip with her and did a whole bunch of other stuff with her as a girlfriend, boyfriend type deal. And then there's been rumors, only rumors, a suspected girlfriend of Barry. And, you know, of course, Morgan Gentile says that she's not that girlfriend. She's not the mistress. And I don't know if you've gone over her. She's back on Facebook now, and she's under Gentile Morgan as her name. And this is her icon. Very strange to me. It's very strange. This is a picture she puts up as her I don't know, avatar or whatever it is. That is very, very strange. And one of her first posts back on her thing is this. She went to work for a company, and she's complaining about the company. Now listen to what she says in this thing. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it goes down in there and says these people, he said, talking about the Department of Cleanup crews, compensated as well as people in South Falls. What you have done here to these people is murder, in big letters, murder. And then she uses chlorine, it said leaking ammonia, CO2, bleach, and chlorine at unsafe levels. She knows how to smell chlorine, apparently, because she was in the motel with it. And then she gets down here, which I blocked out a curse word that she said there. Apparently she's working for Smithfield, which I don't know exactly what they do.
That's bacon. They sold out to China.
Okay. Well, all right.
That's
Glad you
why
told me that.
we don't buy Smithfield bacon.
Okay. But, she's worked there, 4 days, and already she has come an expert on all this stuff. And,
Bet she don't work there long.
No. It says, I passed my supervisors because they are undertrained and misinformed. They are not the reason behind this crime. So, that, I don't know all about her. She's something else. But, just a lot of the same similarities of the same thing, but what got Chris is, he took polygraph, and I know we have a lot of people on here that say polygraphs are no good. Polygraphs are not any good. They're not believable and all this kind of stuff. I'm going to play you something that I found about polygraphs, and a lot of you don't know about polygraphs. You see or hear about it and you think it's of the devil, or maybe that it's not any good. So I'm going to play you a little thing about polygraphs, and then it's going to explain, I think, a lot about them that maybe you don't know.
Basically, polygraph test is a lie detector test. That's what everybody knows them as. It basically just measures the reactions in your body to questions.
And for the Bloomington Police Department, this is Detective Harm's field of expertise.
We use it for several different reasons. One would be to clear somebody of a crime. If they're a suspect, it's a good way to clear them of it, or it's a good way to confirm that they are the person that we're looking for. A lot of times it helps us with interviewing people, that type of thing. Polygraphs aren't admissible in court, so we can't bring the results into court and say, here, he failed the test or he passed the test, that type of thing. But it's more of an investigative aid.
Rather than just explaining how a polygraph works, Detective Harms showed me, and that first meant getting hooked up to the machine.
There's 2 pneumo tubes that we put on. One is for the upper chest, one is for the belly. Males are typically belly breathers, females are typically chest breathers. We measure them both to cover both areas. And we look for slowing of the breathing, stopping breathing. People typically, if they tell a lie, they either hold their breath or their breathing slows way down. So we look for that. The cardio, your blood pressure. In that, we look for spikes in your blood pressure, your heart rate, that type of thing. That's an indicator of somebody being deceptive. And then the galvanic skin response, that measures the electrical conductivity in the skin when it's reacting to stimulus such as fear, that type of thing. So what I did is I asked you to write a number down 1 through 7, write it down on a piece of paper, fold it up, put it in your pocket. I didn't see what number you wrote down.
I was instructed to hold still, keep my feet flat on the floor, and fingers spread apart.
Is the number you wrote down number 2?
No.
Is the number you wrote down number 4?
No.
Is the number you wrote down number 7?
No.
Once the test was finished, Detective Harms examined my reactions to each of the 7 numbers to determine which one I had wrote down.
So your breathing slows there. I'm going to go with number 6. Are you that good? There you go. All right. When a person tells a lie, they relive that event. And it's the fear of being caught in the lie that triggers, it's the autonomic nervous system is what it's called. And that is broken down into the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. And what that is there's the phrase fight, flight, or freeze. The adrenaline rush that you get, that's the sympathetic portion of the autonomic nervous system that kicks in to protect the body. The parasympathetic then tries to bring the body back down to homeostasis, normal, everyday life, that type of thing. When I'm explaining it to somebody, the polygraph test, when I'm explaining the polygraph test to a person coming in taking a polygraph, I basically ask them, have you watched a scary movie before? They typically say yes. I'm like, as you're watching the scary movie, the scary part comes, you start to get the goosebumps, the adrenaline rush. The scary part comes, you jump, you scream, whatever it is that you do, and then you go back down to normal. That's the autonomic nervous system in the body. I can't control that with the polygraph. They can't control that. It's a natural reaction in the body, and that's basically what it measures.
Now, pretty much know about a polygraph. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, polygraph is just an examiner. But you see there, what he did was he had her write down the number in her pocket, not show him. Then he had her answer no to every question. So she said, he asked, is the number 6? And she says no. She lied, and he caught her on it. So, and that was just a simple test right there. Just basically a simple, very simple. But what he said was, it can't be used in court. It is an aid. It is an aid to investigation. That's why Barry will not take the polygraph, because he knows it does work. And that's my opinion. There, I said it. And I want to show you too, we all know what happened when Chris Watts took the polygraph. He failed. And that's what led to his confession to his father.
It was a polygraph test that helped police finally get the break they needed in this case, along with some help from Chris Watts' father. Fox 31's Greg Nieto is digging deep into those details and continues our team coverage now.
Yeah, Matt, that polygraph test was some 3 questions before it was taken. Christopher Watts said, "I'm not responsible." After he was done with the test, authorities deemed he was lying.
The polygraph test took place at the Frederick Police Department shortly after Shannon, Bella, and Celeste were reported missing. During a pre-test interview, Watts denied any involvement in his wife and daughter's disappearance, as well as any infidelity. As for the polygraph, once it began, Watts was asked 3 questions. Did you physically cause Shannon's disappearance? Answer, no. Are you lying about the last time you saw Shannon? Answer, no. Do you know where Shannon is now? Answer, no. With the polygraph complete, authorities assessed the psychophysiological responses. In their professional opinion, quote, Chris is not being truthful during testing. Watts did not pass the polygraph. At some point thereafter, Watts asked to talk to his dad, with Watts promising investigators to tell his dad everything, just the 2 of them, their conversation being recorded. Watts' dad point blank asks his son what happened. Watts replies, she hurt them, and then I freaked out and hurt her. He also tells investigators he killed his wife, but not his daughters.
Now, eventually, Christopher Watts, as we know now, would plead guilty to the killing or the death of his wife, 2 daughters, and unborn son. Greg Nieto, Fox 31.
Greg, thank you. Right now, our team is still pouring through the almost 2,000 pages of documents related to this case. This includes search warrants, surveillance records, even letters Chris Watts received in jail and his behavior there. There are also interviews with hundreds of people, including Shannon's friends and family, as they turned up pressure on investigators to get this case.
Thank you very much, Ms. Cherry. I appreciate that more than you know. So, polygraphs do help. They are a very valuable aid. They are, and they just are an aid. I mean, we talked about that last time, and yes, you do not have to take a polygraph, but you can see the thing it did when they gave it to Chris. He actually, they told him, but now I'll be honest with you, I did not want to get into it. 5-hour polygraph. That's what it took.
Okay.
And that's counting the initial.
Joanne from
Initial,
Australia said,
yeah.
I looked into that Australian case you were asking about and found out about as much as you did, mate. Sorry.
Thank you so much, Joanne. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was like pulling teeth over there on that thing. I couldn't find out anything. A very beautiful girl that went missing in Australia. We covered that last week. And we are still going to cover occasionally cases around the world. That's what I want to do. But
It's been 2 years since Chris Watts killed his family.
Yeah.
Gosh.
One thing about Chris Watts is he did, and listen, I'm just telling you, probably do not want to go and watch it. There is a video of police went to jail and interviewed him, and he just basically told them exactly how it happened about killing his wife. He killed her in the house, carried her body out and buried it in a shallow grave, and then killed one of the child with a blanket and smothered to death, put her in the oil tanker, went back, and the little girl asked him, "Are you going to do what you did to the other girl?" And named her, and he said yes, or he said he didn't remember what he said, but he did kill her. He's a monster. There is no doubt he is a monster, deserves the death penalty, but pled to avoid it. That's what he did. He pled to avoid it. He'll never get out of jail, but he is a monster. He is. Now, Netflix has got a show coming out about him, and I do plan to watch it. It's not going to be a documentary. It's going to be a drama about that whole situation. And, I'm sure they're not going to cover this in detail as what the case file is. But what I was getting back at, the fact that it was a 5-hour interview with him, with a polygraph and the interview. And it's like I said before, what they do, a polygraph examiner does, they will interview you for at least an hour beforehand. The last job interview polygraph I had, it was a 2-hour interview, and then the polygraph took 15 minutes, because the interview is they write down all the stuff he told you, and then they get you kind of feeling relaxed because they know you're nervous about taking it. And then they hand you the questions they're going to ask and say, if you read over these, I'll be back in a minute, and leave you in there about 15 minutes. And that way you know what they're going to ask you. And no surprises. And when you do, it's pretty easy to tell if you lie or not.
You got another $2 from Atlanta Tide Crimes.
Atlantic Tide Crimes. Thank you very much. I appreciate it very much. Super sticker.
No, Joyce, the babies did not deserve to die like that.
No,
and
ma'am.
He's still breathing.
Yes, he is still breathing, and they did not deserve to die like that. And don't forget the unborn child also.
Yes.
The son that she was carrying too. And the reason in his text message I read today was that he didn't want a third child, that was going to interfere with what he had planned in his lifestyle. So he killed him. I mean, people, listen. Divorce lawyers are advertising all the time. They'll help you out with that. Don't go and kill your mate. I just can't.
One thing is, Tommy and I have adopted children. Both of our babies are adopted. And we thank God every day that their mothers gave them life. And there is no such thing as an unwanted child.
That's correct. And both of our babies are grown.
Yeah. Well, they're still my babies.
Yeah. But, we can't, I just can't. I just can't even imagine it. I really can't. I'm going to tell you the story about the salt shaker. I've had a lot of people say about what's the salt shaker story. I'm going to go ahead and tell it. I want to be cremated when I die. That's just it. I do. And I would like my ashes to be spread over the Grand Tetons in Wyoming. It's, in my opinion, most beautiful place on earth that I've seen. I'm sure there's others. Well, she says, I'll just get a salt shaker and put your ashes in it, and I'll just sprinkle you out all over the country. So I said,
but now they have to understand, April Fool's Day is my favorite day because I was born April 2nd. I've asked God to let me die on April Fool's Day so that when Tommy calls people and says, hey, Dina's died, they won't believe him. It's okay. It's my sense of humor. I grew up with 6 brothers.
Okay. All right. Well, Miss Cherry, oh my gosh. Miss Cherry, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate
Yes.
that. Adoption is big and special in our life. Our daughter is from South Korea, Daegu. She was 7 months old. We were blessed with her. And our son is from Alabama, and he was 2 days old.
He was 12 hours old when we got to hold him the first time.
We got to hold him for the first time. So we are blessed.
We are.
Thank you very much again. Thank you.
His wife's name is Medina.
Yeah, my wife's name is Medina. Her daddy, I think, named her after a cigar.
We don't know.
But that's what I think. Miss Thomas, get on live stream with her own mic, or would you love seeing both of you?
Read what Chris said.
What?
We've started something now.
What?
Read what she said.
I can't see it here.
Christola? My father-in-law?
Where I can't
Okay,
see
she
it.
says, my father-in-law wants to be buried on his belly so everyone can kiss his.
That's great. That's great. That's great. Well, we might do a mic for my wife over there. I don't know if she wants to be on camera.
Not tonight.
She, sometimes she'll, I'll say, hey, come here, let me get you in there. No, my hair doesn't look right, or like that.
Oh,
yeah.
Red Rum. Okay, yeah. Yep.
That's
No,
always.
I'm older than the song Funky Cold Medina.
Yeah, everybody reminds her of that too. Yeah.
That I'm older than Funky Cold Medina?
No, when they'll play that song or something.
Yeah. Somebody emailed you 4 missing persons cases. Tell a truth teller. So
truth teller, yes, I do. And listen, there's been a little bit of miscommunication on my email. For some reason, apparently I'm not getting some of them. Make sure the address is correct. The missing live stream at gmail.com. I respond to all the emails.
Even the negative
the negative emails. I had one right before I came on from somebody that said they were a loyal fan, but got their feelings hurt because I didn't mention them in the live stream because they had provided me with some information. But I told them I was sorry. I didn't. But sometimes I don't see.
The comments go
go fast, and they're very small on StreamYard. That's why my wife's initially in here, and so I did tell her basically that I'm sorry, but I didn't get it, and the fact that I do my own research. I do take your research, but I didn't get to where I was in law enforcement by copying just other people's stuff.
Hey,
so.
Okay,
I do my own research.
Back to this. Lady Justice says CW wasn't the only monster who killed his family. There were accomplices to this crime that haven't been arrested or charged. CW did not act alone in the murders of his family. I could see where he could have acted alone with the kids being so little.
Do you know, Lady Justice, do you know where did you hear this, or is there some documentation that we can go back to? And one thing, too, I want to clear up about this channel. I touched on the Delphi killings because we were looking at I was trying to debunk the theory that Barry Morphew had anything to do with that crime. But I'm not going to get into active murder or cases. I'm just not going to do it because there's so much stuff that you can have misinformation. In fact, I had misinformation and put it out there, and then I corrected it in my stream. I watched a retired prosecutor that was putting out a bunch of stuff that he was just wrong, and I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to follow active murder cases. It's not worth it to get involved. I'm afraid I'll mess something up for somebody that's actually and could affect something, evidence that is. I will follow missing people, and we will follow Barry Morphew's case because I felt it was important to kind of put these similarities out there. I mean, he may, listen, I am saying this, and I'll say it right now. I hope that Barry Morphew is completely innocent.
Okay. Karen said, it's a crime, saw someone with Chris the night he removed the bodies.
Okay. Well, I'll go check that out. But let me say that again. I hope that Barry Morphew is innocent, because if he's innocent, that means she may be alive. If she's been taken by somebody else, that means she may be alive. But I really hope he is innocent. All the evidence and all the stuff that I've seen is very questionable.
They were talking about CW.
CW, Chris Watts, yeah.
Yeah.
He had Chris Watts had somebody else. I wonder if if they investigated
Tree
that.
Killer says it's a crime. The YouTube channel did a video about Chris Watts having help. She has security video.
She needs to turn that over to the FBI if she hadn't done it already. That's the main thing. If you have information.
He said, Crystal says, if you hear the name, it will ring a bell. I think that's one that she wants you to look into.
I will look at it, but I'm just not going to go
Crystal's
into.
Is different. Crystal is different.
Yeah, I will look at Crystal. I promise you, I'll look at that.
Okay.
Yes, right here. Volunteer search.
Yeah.
Tomorrow at Point Defiance in Washington State. Find
Cassandra Cantrell.
Yes. Want to put that out there. If anybody's watching from that area, that would be great if you could volunteer. I wish I was out there. I could do it too. Also, I had a message, and I don't know if this is the same one. Had a message from 49th Parallel, the guy that came on while we were doing a case on the hiker up in Cascade Mountains. He said they just had the search dogs land at the airport today. They are going to go out and try to do some more searching for that missing hiker. We wish them the best, praying for them that they find her. They really say it's a recovery mission right now, and I understand why they say that. Lady Justice.
Hey.
Okay. Whoa! Watch this here. My dog's
Big
under
dog.
the table.
Big
Big dog's under the table. See, Maggie. I know you want somebody to rub your ears, but it's not the right time. Thank you very much, Lulu. I appreciate it. And if you have any cases over there in Great Britain that in the UK that needs, I apologize. My dog is just bumping all over this table.
Come on. Come on.
That it needs to be looked at, or we can feature on the channel. Go ahead and send me an email. Email's at the bottom of the screen right there. I would be very appreciative. In Seattle, how can I volunteer? You might want to get with Rowan U2. Is that it? ROWAN2 capital U. Do you know how she can volunteer for that search?
Is it safe with the fire still, though?
Yeah, I think so. There's too high elevation.
Okay.
Yeah, pets or something. You can't control what a dog's going to do unless you shut the door, and then they don't like that. They get vocal. So
stop. Maggie.
See.
Go find Michael. Where's Michael?
Yeah, anytime I can feature anything, and we are going to cover other missing people. Just because we go back for the Morphew case, it doesn't mean anything.
Hey,
I do want to keep up with it.
Dana said, "Who is the missing hiker?"
The two missing. There's a few that have been missing, but the one that we featured, and I don't have my list in front of me, and unfortunately on this software, I can't. I think it's LAK. Look back through those videos then real quick. It's like 3 or 4 videos back. I think it's Rachel LAKU D something. I don't know exactly the just a minute. She's going to find out. Look at that. Yeah, there she is. She's got it. Lori's got it. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate it. This I'm not 100% satisfied with this software I use to live stream for StreamYard. It doesn't allow me to just jump to one icon to the next.
Good. I mean, not good. It's rainy and wet, but at least it's not. There's not fires.
Yeah, absolutely. And I imagine that high elevation too. That fires. I don't know if fires do they get up that high. That lack of oxygen would be a problem. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Yeah, we usually at the end of our streams, we let the dogs come up here and say hello. Maggie's she's about 100-pound lab, 2.5 years old, and then Gracie's our little Yorkie Chihuahua. She's the boss. I don't think Red Rum. I don't think that Suzanne will be found on the property. That Colorado and that area that they're at is so vast that I don't think, unless the search has the searchers, Andy Mormon is he's got 500 volunteers right now, and Colorado Bureau of Investigation, the Sheriff's Department, and the FBI is going to have stationed there, have their evidence teams out there, and they're going to do a search. However, if they don't have information of exactly where if the remains are, I don't really believe that they're going to find them, because that area is so vast, and snow's coming in. And so once snow gets here, it may be next year, or maybe to a time when a hiker or a hunter stumbles upon it. Yeah, right. You're exactly right. But there are a lot of similarities, and I wanted to bring those out, even though we didn't dive into them, 100%. That I feel like there's just, and I feel like maybe that the reason why that he's refused a polygraph and refused a voice analysis is because he's seen the results of other people that have taken polygraph, like Chris Watts. That the minute he took the polygraph, and give me, like I said, it was about a 5-6 hour ordeal. They interviewed him, they tested him. I think they interviewed him. I think it was like 1 or 2 times they ran it, but they finally just confronted him. And I guess after all that time, he was just beat down, and he said, "I want to talk to my father." And then went in there, he finally admitted. He said that his wife, excuse me, he said that his wife was trying to kill the kids, and that's why he snapped, went in there and killed her. But he never admitted to killing his kids until he pled guilty, and he also was interviewed in prison. And the interview in prison is cold and calculated and non-emotional. Pure sociopath, pure psychopath even, and I'm not a psychiatrist, but, cold, calculated, just matter of fact. That's what he said. We ask you, if you're not a subscriber, to please think about subscribing to the channel, and please push the like button if you like it, or the no button if you don't like it. And if you got an idea on a person that we think we need to cover, please send us a email, and we'll do our best to look into it and see if it's something that fits our channel. What?
She said Chris Watts was still courageous to admit his crime. I don't call him courageous at all.
I don't know why
he's an animal.
I don't know why you need to really go and watch that jailhouse interview. If you can take that type of, it's pretty graphic. It's pretty, I don't know. He's cold-hearted. He's cold. Yeah. Now, y'all have any questions about what we need to talk about? Any of this? You know, any things that you can also see that are kind of lend similarities from Barry and how he's acting? It's more of an action thing I see with similarities. We don't know all the details or even all the evidence of a crime, but is there any other actions that you see? I mean, the fact that they did make these statements, they did have their heads rocking back and forth a little bit, and they are kind of a pleading type statement. The fact that they both put their houses basically up for sale, and the fact that they both had basically possibly a girlfriend.
Thomas, are criminal profilers only used in murder cases? Would a profiler be used in a missing persons case?
Yeah, I mean, the FBI,
Hush.
Maggie,
Hush.
the FBI profilers, you need to watch, if you haven't seen Mindhunters on Netflix, and I don't even know if it's still on there or not, Mindhunter. It's about the FBI. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I can't.
So you can put them out then. The FBI unit that set up their criminal profiling for the FBI, that's what that show's about. And it's not a drama per se. They use actual cases, but they actually show how that unit was formed, and they work these cases out, and it's very, very interesting. So just like the Son of Sam, I watched a show the other day on the Son of Sam, and the criminal profilers actually gave the investigators who they were looking for. Yeah, that's what I said. He did blame her for killing the kids. Tonight it's got everything going on here. It's like a circus. But the profilers actually, what they will do, even for the missing, if there's a suspect, or say this, there was a known abduction, you have a known abduction, then the profiler would say, we think the person that abducted them are this, and this, because of what they did. If they're mostly in murder cases though, because say the way that the killers killed somebody, or how they stalked their victims, or stuff like that, then the profiler would have, it's amazing how they can say, what they did on the Golden State Killer, what they did on Ted Bundy, what they did on, a lot of these others, that they actually took the crime and described what they should look for. A single, married guy. The Son of Sam was another one that it was very, very close when it came down to the arrest.
Okay, sorry.
Truth teller. Yeah, I seen where that he's guilty. Just wish they'd arrested already. What? Who are we talking about? Who are we talking about?
I just got back. I don't know. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Lulu, who are you talking about? Can you tell me again? Yeah, listen, true criminal gossiper, I think is the name of the channel. Y'all need to go over there and watch her too. I watched her a little bit today. Pretty good channel. It's another one. I like to watch it. I like to watch everybody because I learn something from everybody. Yeah, I'm a little distracted. I got a dog under my feet with her head right here up in my lap, wanting me to rub her. I got another one there. I've got the phone ringing. I'm a little distracted. Recent retired major. Wait a minute. Let me get that. CIA terrorist. Yeah, that's the guy that I mentioned, and I think in one of the past videos about Major Danes, I think it is, that says that he works for remote viewing, and he has viewed an area up there approximately a mile as the crow flies away.
Has someone seen the comment about Barry yelling at Suzanne while she was on the phone?
Yes, I did. I think that was the criminal gospel that was talking about that. Yeah, it's supposedly this friend of hers from cancer treatments was on the phone with her and invited her and the girls. Now I don't know if it's her girls or a bunch of girls. You know how women are. They talk about the girls, right? But invited them to come down to Florida and hang out at her new house. And she was on the phone, and Barry comes in unexpectedly and yells at her, basically, "You're not going anywhere," or "You're not going nowhere," or something. I don't know the exact verbiage, but she said that she got real tense, pensive about the call. I mean, like what's, kind of real stressed out about it. So obviously Barry in this instant was a controlling guy. He's controlling. So, that, if that is true, then.
Okay. Deborah Stein said, "Great show. I know this is really far-fetched, but what if she had to stage her own death to get away from Barry? It's not unheard of."
Yeah, I had several people. We had a girl on here. I apologize, I don't remember his name. She said that she actually saw a girl that looked a lot like her in a store in Oregon or Washington State. I think it was Oregon. And that she confronted her, even said, "Oh, you look just like that missing lady, Suzanne Morphew." And that she kind of hem-hawed around and kind of, just kind of avoided her and left. And that supposedly she reported to the FBI and supposedly the FBI has went up there and pulled the films. But they say a lot of the people that know her and know her kids and know her from cancer treatment say that she would never, ever leave her kids and never, ever put her kids thinking that, in other words, she loves her kids so much, they don't think they would put her kids through that or her family. And you got to remember,
Dr.
her dad.
Douglas Cherry said there's a movie about that. Yeah, Sleeping with the Enemy was one of them.
Sleeping with the Enemy was one movie. But, just remember, too, her dad's got cancer, and her dad, was elderly. So, I just don't think that she would do that. But of course, I don't know her. Barry Martin wouldn't Susanna try medical marijuana, antidepressants, going through cancer? I'll be honest with you, and I'm a retired cop. If I wasn't going through cancer, I would be right there if it would help me from getting nauseated.
Hey, Joanne from Australia said it does happen, though. I don't think so. In this case, it just happened in Australia. Her name was Daphne Hampstead.
Wow. And that's not, that's not to say that that didn't happen. Have you noticed since the day one bike ride abduction, kidnapping, road lying, cops screwed up the crime scene? My employees are meth heads. I smell chlorine too. Media is making me look bad guy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that says it in a
That
nutshell.
is a very, very good comment. That is exactly right. And I thought that myself, that he always blames everybody else. Not me, not me, not me. But that is an excellent, Sammy. That is an excellent comment. That kind of says it all right there. I know you can hear this going on in my hallway. The dog is just like running. I don't know what your problem is. We got a lot of distractions today, but I don't know if they want our attention or what the deal is.
Outside.
Yeah, it's cooler outside. She wants to go play ball. That's true. I'm sorry. Yeah. We're going to try to shut the door. We're going to try to shut the door and see what that does. Okay. I apologize.
Goodness.
Oh, the email, it should be right there at the bottom of my screen.
It's right there on you.
Okay, somebody asked. I'm coming back. I missed it. It should be right at the bottom there, the missing live stream at gmail.com.
It's right above the sheepdog.
Yeah, it's right. It's right. Right. It's right. Wait a minute, I'm wrong hand. It's right there. Where my finger's pointing. Right there. Okay. Yeah, the media is making him look bad. Well, you know, he said one time that he hired a private investigator. He's got a private investigator working. I'd like to talk to that guy. Nobody's ever named him. And I haven't even heard of his lawyer's name. But they say he's hired one, which, listen, there's nothing wrong with hiring an attorney in any situation. You know, it doesn't make him bad to hire an attorney. Some of my best friends are attorneys.
Dr. Devo Cherry said, what if they don't find the body? Will he get away with it? Not necessarily.
No, because you can try somebody without a body. It's not easy, but you can. You can do it.
Elizabeth said, tired of people saying that the know what happened and that Barry is guilty when they have zero facts to support these false allegations. So much conjecture making mountains out of molehills.
First, Miss Cherry, I'm sorry about your dog dying.
Yeah.
They're like children, Elizabeth. For sure. Tired of people saying what happened, that Barry is guilty. No, listen, that's not it. We've never said, I personally have never said he's guilty. I said if I was a cop working this, he'd be my number one suspect. But there's a lot of unanswered questions, Elizabeth. That's all we're saying. We would love for him to take a polygraph, if at all possible. If he takes one, he passes it, just like the guy said in the video. It rules him out as a suspect, and we can go pursue another route. Police can go and pursue another route. We'd like to know if you know, the timeline's messed up. You know, we'd like to explain more about the hotel room and why there was chlorine smell when nobody else smelled chlorine in any other rooms. We'd like to know that. I would like to know why he decided to leave her at home on Mother's Day and go up there to his workstation when his crew said that he never did any work up there. And the tools that he left wasn't the kind of tools they used to do the job. You know, I thought there's a lot of things I would like to know, but, you know, we're not saying 100% he's guilty. But anybody, first, here's my problem. The biggest problem I have with Barry is he doesn't even make a public statement for like 8 days later. And then when he does, he gives a 30-second video without permission of law enforcement to do it. And if it was me, I'd be on the news every single night. And I had my family around me every single night. And I'd be out there searching every single day. I'd be their biggest enemy, the news people. I'd want to be out there. You know what I mean? I'd be out there every night wanting the news to be involved. You know, there wouldn't be any question if I was worried about my wife. Well, you know, you can't, maybe, I hope I never get that way where I'm making stuff up. I'm just examining the facts. That's all I want to do. But until he's more open and makes himself more available to the press and to people in general, then suspicion is going to be there. You know, he doesn't come out. He doesn't. Maybe that's the way he handles his grief. But why not take a polygraph? And now I know it's not a miss one. I know everybody's scared of it. But why not? I just want to know why he won't. And then he lied about it. He said, I've taken a polygraph. He told that to Draper. He said it on film. And then he also said, I've interviewed 3 90-hour interviews. He's cooperated to the very end. Well, CBI, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, said he has not been cooperative. He has not taken a polygraph.
I agree with Dana. Dana says, Elizabeth, what is your opinion as to what happened to Suzanne, please?
What?
Maybe she has a different opinion about it.
Yeah, Elizabeth, if you got a...
What is your opinion?
What is your opinion? Do you think he's guilty of anything, or do you think he's completely innocent? And if you do think he's innocent, and listen, we're not jumping on you, picking on you. We do not do that here.
Know.
We would love to know your opinion towards this, because I'm not feeling this. So if you can tell me why you do, that'd be great.
If Dana asked Thomas if her body or remains are found, does he have to pay the $200,000?
I don't know. I'm not saying or doing anything. I enjoy the live videos. Oh, that's great. And listen, Elizabeth, you're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
We're open opinion place here. If you disagree with me, I do not get mad in the slightest. There's nothing that y'all can say about to me on here would make me mad, except if you talk about my wife or my dogs, and then I might get upset. The money will go to the person who gave the info if she's found. Well, I think the money that they've offered, like that Barry has offered, is finding her and the conviction of the person that took her. I think that is, if you read the whole thing. But it's easy to offer a big reward for somebody to find her if you know they're not going to be found. And I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not saying that that's what it is. But you think about that. I could offer $1 million to somebody if they found somebody that was missing from me, if I knew where they were, that they wouldn't find her. You know, if Watts had not told them that he dropped those kids in that oil tanks, they probably would never found them. Gosh, you think about that. They probably would never found them. Maybe when they took down the tanks, if they took them down 10 or 15 years later, they may find bones in them, but they wouldn't have found, it would have been, if anything, if ever. Because you know, you can drive through West Texas and you see these old abandoned tanks out there that have been there for, 50 years.
Thank you, Jesse.
What did Jesse say?
She said, I love your dogs, and your wife sounds wonderful.
Yeah,
she enjoys herself.
My wife is wonderful.
Now you're sucking up to me.
Okay. Yeah, doggy's life matter. I agree. Okay, so as my wife says, we don't want to beat this dead horse too long.
Oh, gosh. She says, I think North Korea is guilty and involved. I'm surprised somebody didn't blame Trump for it.
We're not getting into politics.
No, we're not getting into politics.
Okay. We want to talk about one more thing before we go, and I said I would.
What are we going to talk about?
There's another missing person here that I want to discuss. This happened, and we're not just talking about people that disappeared on their own, or about stranger abduction. We're talking about people that maybe have some real issues in their life, and they disappear on their own accord, and they still deserve to have their face out there in the public, and that's exactly what I'm doing today. This girl here, Suzanne Rezab, I think it is, 33 years old, missing from Oak Park, Illinois on September the 15th, 2019. She was last seen at a church in Oak Park, Illinois. She was picked up by a family member. Now, the way I understand it is she was in rehab there, and that she called to leave the rehab early, is what my understanding of it is.
She's beautiful.
That she went back into the church, and now they cannot.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
They went back into the church, and now she has disappeared basically off the face of the earth. She is known to panhandle around in the area. And this is another thing about it here. South Elgin Police Department seeking public help, tracking down a 33-year-old woman who walked away from a drug rehab center last fall. She left the rehab center wearing a hospital gown in mid-September, so that's pretty cold up there, I would think. Her family reported her missing on November 2019. But, you know, she went missing actually in September, but they didn't report her to November. But I think that's because they figured that she'd turn up, you know, about the being addicted. She's probably still addicted to drugs, but she panhandled around the Congress Parkway near the old post office building in Chicago. Unsubstantiated claims she might be somewhere in Indiana, according to a news release. And this is some tattoos she has on her. They're pretty denounced. Is that blurred to you?
No.
It's not
telling? Must be your glasses.
No. But it's got, you know, it's pretty denounced. If you were to see her in shorts or a bikini at a beach or something, that would be pretty. I mean, there'd be no way you could not tell that tattoo. And also this tattoo also, is that blurry?
Yeah, that's blurry.
Okay, for whatever reason, these are blurry even to out here. I don't know what that is, why that is blurry, but it is. It's a small tattoo on on the back side of the leg. Now, she more or less probably wanted to be missing at first, but we don't know what has developed since then, or if she was taken into some type of human trafficking thing where she is being prostituted out. Because, you know, when women are on drugs, they're very vulnerable to being trafficked through prostitution. Their pimps will often give them drugs to get them to be their like dealer, and then they traffic the women. So keep that in mind. Lori, did you say who's deceased? You mean, I don't know who you're talking about there. But any questions or anything you want to bring up at all, we'll try to answer them. I heard about that. I'm interested if her hadn't really gotten anything from her yet. Which one are you talking about? Is he talking about this girl, or are you talking about another girl? We do appreciate the super chats tonight. I really do.
Yes, thank you so much.
That helps so well. You know, I hate to even say this, but I have some emails that have been kind of disturbing to me that in the last couple of days, and my wife says I should just play that Taylor Swift song, "Shake It Off." So maybe if anybody has any questions, you could ask it in caps. What if Suzanne's never found? That's great. It's a possibility. They still, if they can compile enough evidence on their suspect, even without a body, they can charge him. It's not easy to prosecute somebody without a body, but if they can show through evidence that there's a greater chance that she's deceased than she is alive, then they can. And that might be from evidence they recovered in the house. if say they have a spot in the house, it's a large amount of blood, and the coroner or the pathologist says somebody probably died losing this much blood, then they can tie it to her, then I would say that would be enough. They did that with a girl. Thank you again,
Oh my
Miss
gosh.
Cherry. I thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much.
We appreciate the super chat.
We do. We really appreciate it. I think that
Blitzen says, I'm amazed at the number of teenagers missing here in Columbus, Georgia. I told her to send us some names.
Send us some names, because a lot of times they can be tied to one organization. I know that they did thank you again, Miss Sherry. I really do appreciate it. I know that they did some raids near Atlanta just in the last few months, that they recovered 38, I think, human trafficked kids. So,
They've been finding them all over the nation.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot.
Michigan had 29. Yeah. Florida had a bunch.
Also, Arizona did a pretty big raid yesterday. Got about 70 or 80 indentured servants. Basically, they were people that had crossed the border illegally, and they were basically farming them out to keep from turning them in. Let's see. Truth teller Barry Martin has said to himself that law enforcement is blaming him. To me, that says they're a person of interest. Well, yeah, blame everything. He did blame the police for handling the bike and putting evidence. He did blame the police for botching the investigation. And that's all. I think that's all a way to creating a defense. If you can say that the evidence was not collected adequately, I mean, that's basically what they did in the O.J. Simpson case. They convinced a jury that police botched the evidence.
Thomas, can we assume that no significant evidence was found in the Morphew?
I don't think we can, because we talked about that before. A second bite of the apple, the second search warrant, is almost impossible to get. I'm very serious when I say that. To get a second search warrant is almost impossible. I personally have left equipment, like personal equipment, flashlights that cost $100, inside a house, and try to get a search warrant to go back in and get it. And the judge said no. And then even that we've searched the house for drugs and found out later it was in a hidden compartment in the back bedroom, or at one time we found some in a hidden compartment underneath the bathroom sink, and it had a bunch of Dilaudid in there. And we tried to get back into a house after a second informant, and they said, no, you don't get a second bite of the apple, not at least that soon. So obviously it was something in the first search that got them enough to get another search warrant, which is almost impossible.
Jayla wanted to know if you believe there's going to be an arrest coming soon in Barry.
Well, I said after they found the chlorine in the incident over there, I thought it would be soon, real soon. But there's been a lot of stuff. Those guys, we don't know. Morphew, Morgan is already, that she said she was fired because Barry didn't want her to give up her phone, and he didn't want her to give a statement. But she did not take a polygraph, which is kind of confusing to me. If she's willing to confide all the information, and then everybody's talking about these meth heads. Listen, when you work narcotics, that's all you deal with, informants that are on drugs. You deal with people that are on drugs. So you have to evaluate their reliability. And so they will take that information and they will compile it, and they will see who's telling the truth about what. And I wouldn't doubt they don't ask for a polygraph from Mr. Jeff either. Do you think the investigators realize they forgot to check an area in the house? I would think more so that Ms. Tammy, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I really do. I think more so that maybe something came up in some DNA. They maybe were waiting on a DNA result, or, I had heard some things that somebody thought that maybe there was a third party DNA in the house, which it could be. I don't know, but DNA does take a little longer to check than TV says it does. It really does. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate it.
Don't worry about it. Listen, every little bit helps.
Yes, absolutely. It doesn't. I'm just blown away by super chats in the main thing. I really didn't know anything about it until everybody asked me to do it. So I'm very blown away about it.
Crystal's test. I wonder what would happen if I said War Eagle. My son is testing. We have plenty of War Eagle families.
Yes, we have plenty of. In Alabama, where we live, you have two major college universities.
And when you're born,
Alabama, and you have Auburn. And when you're born, you pretty much have to choose.
That's right.
Even though there's a bunch of other smaller universities in the state.
Okay, one of the things I wanted to say is everyone keep your eyes open, because there seems to be something going on, not just in America, but I saw over in Europe where they raided a bunch of homes in Europe and got out children that were being held captive. And now we've got it going on all over in America. We need to keep our eyes open. Just watch for those children, because they're being moved from one place to another. And with 800,000 children in America alone coming up missing every year, and not all of them are taken. Some of them run away from home. Some of them come back. Some of them are found. But, out of 800,000, there's a lot that are not found. And children are where my heart is, because they are defenseless. And so we need to keep our eyes open, and we need to make sure that if we see something that looks strange, say something.
Yeah, and as Cherry said, where is the huge rock the girlfriend wanted? What about the divorce she was asking for? Google, Celia. And the family pictures of the little child, no less. And I saw all that. That was something. Before she came out, and before she put her Facebook page up, and before she said she's not the girlfriend, and before she did all that, I didn't want anybody to even say her name on this channel, because I didn't want to have, I didn't want to have any type of bullying towards her, but we need, what I mean, it's just, and I was telling her, no politics, please.
No, I was just wondering what she was talking about. Is there? Okay.
No, I don't want to get into no politics here, please. No. I don't want to do that. But we just keep an eye out. Me and my wife are very pro-life. Just say that.
And human traffickers really drive me crazy.
Pro-children and pro-animals, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And so we keep your eye out for predators and pedophiles, and guard your kids against on the computers. Snapchats and a lot of these other things are pedophile havens. And
they said 3 girls are missing in Columbus, Georgia this week. Wow. What is going on?
Send me, if you have that information on that, if you could send it to me on my email, I'll look into it. Please. Is it Blitzen?
That's
that
Cuz.
Blitzen? Okay,
Cuz.
yeah. Okay, Cuz. That's Cuz. Okay. Yeah. True Teller, yes. God bless the U.S. Marshals. Yeah, I have a bunch of buds in the U.S. Marshals, and they do an outstanding job. I mean, they are top notch. I always said if I did anything wrong, I don't want those guys looking for me, because they will find you. they're top notch. See here. Former teacher, I've always had my eyes open, not hesitate to mention our police if something, a gut feeling. That's exactly right. And we talked about that in our last stream.
Denise.
That our last stream is the little girl, the minor. Basically, you had the mind of a 14-year-old. A lot of people dropped the ball on that one.
Denise had a good point. Check your kids. They know how to get around parental controls. Fake. Remember the fake calculators and all those other things that were on there?
Yeah. Always, we always told our kids, we would get on to them about something and say, and my wife would say, I'm not your friend. I'm your parent. I'm not going to do what your friends help you out covering up something. It's not, this is the way it is, until you get out of my house. Unfortunately, you got to abide by my rules. And then my kids turned out great too. I don't have any problems with my kids.
Truth telling, amen.
Yeah, no political, please, no politics on this channel.
That's what I said. I respect my husband. As political
absolutely.
as I am, I respect
my wife
husband.
is very political, but I do not want any politics on this channel. The people, I don't know about you, but I'll be glad after November 3rd. That's all I'm going to say about politics, because it's just, I see enough of it is on the news. Yeah, and that's another thing. Miss Cherry, you're exactly right. If you have friends that post their naked pictures of their kids online in the bathtub, please tell them to take it off the internet. Pedophiles get off on that sort of thing. They capture those photos, they doctor them, they put them on the dark web, they sell them. Don't tell them. I tried to explain that to our friend, and they got kind of irritated at me. I said, look, if you want to share pictures of your child in the bathtub, email them to a relative. Don't put them on the internet. Please don't do that. You're asking for it. Not even your kids in little bikinis around and stuff like that. I'm telling you, it's not safe. It's not safe. And one thing, go to your Facebook and set your privacy where nobody can get on your Facebook that's not your friend, not your friend's friend. Or, we set it up today.
We had to set it up today because we had some stuff happen.
Enough friends, you need to be their friend and need structured discipline. I agree 100%. I saw a video the other day of a cop explaining that people lie to put their palms up, and that's what Barry did quite often, a few times with Tyson across him. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that too. Another thing too, there's something people normally do with their eyes too. Now, I haven't noticed it with him, but a lot of people look up and to the right or to the left for whatever reason. You can look at films of people testifying and they'll do it. It's something that the body does automatically for some reason.
Another thing, if you have friends who have young children, tell them to allow their children to voice if they're, we've always heard, be quiet in public, don't scream, don't holler, whatever. I taught my children that if someone tried to get them to start screaming, this is not my mommy, this is not my daddy. And
help me.
Yeah, my 3-year-old actually got away from me in Sears one day, and a lady picked her up, and Mindy kept screaming, don't steal me, don't steal me, don't steal me.
Yeah, so she said, this kid's not going to be stolen. Well, that's the idea of it.
That's right.
Yeah. Another thing, especially video games where predators can befriend your child. That's exactly right.
It's sad that we have to worry about our children, and our children are growing up in a world like this, and it's up to us to protect them. And if we don't do everything, no matter if it makes them mad, that's our fault.
Exactly right. Barry
I'm
is
saying
going,
to protect them.
said Barry's going, honey, my child would tell you straight up.
There you go.
Why, straight up, my mom is not my friend, and they're adults, and it's not finished raising them. Yeah, I 100%. I've heard that out of my wife's mouth 100 times.
I have it on the refrigerator. The kids bought me a magnet that says that. I am not your friend.
Yeah, I've seen her. I've heard her say it 100 times. I'm not your friend. I'm your parent. And
yeah, TikTok's another dangerous one.
yeah, they're banning that starting Sunday night. They're going to ban that in the U.S. That and something else. I didn't catch the other name of it. Yeah, Chris Watts did have hollow eyes. He still does. He looks evil in prison now, though. If you look at his picture, he really does look evil.
He's probably taking a beating in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna end this. It's an hour and 20 minutes. I do appreciate everybody being here tonight.
If you hadn't hit the like button, we've got 171 people watching. We got 2 down. 2 people didn't like it, but 105 like it. If you like it, hit the like button. If you don't, hit the don't like button.
Apparently, YouTube likes some diversity in there, I guess. But you don't allow your daughter on social media when school age. Their friends thought they were in witness protection. That's great.
I love it.
That's great. That is great. Okay, well, I'm gonna pull out of here. I'm gonna play this at the end like I normally do for 20 seconds.
They wanted to hear one.
YouTube
They wanted to hear
story.
one of your police stories.
You know, I was talking to somebody today about that. I'll tell you one. I don't even know if I remember this or not, but we had a call to a burglary of a church, and it's something about searching a church at night. I don't know if it's the being in there at night. You know, it's super quiet, and we were getting churches broke into, and I was in uniform at the time, and me and another guy was coming up there, and we were searching the whole place, and didn't see anything. And somebody said, "Well, did you check the where they do the baptism?" And I said, "No." I said, "I'll go check that. It's no big deal." So I walked around the corner, and when I did, I kind of, you know, we still have our guns out. I poked my head around the corner quickly, and I see the curtain there and 2 boots right there. Just the boots, the front of the boots out behind the curtain. And so, you know, I mentioned I poked up my friend behind me, then my backup. I told him, I turned, I said, "Look, there's one there." He poked, and his eyes got big, you know, and so we hollered, you know, "You behind the curtain, you don't have your hands up, you know. You behind the curtain, no movement. You behind the curtain, come out with your hands up. You know, blah, 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 you know what we're saying, no movement." So I just reached down there real quick, switched the curtain back, and there's waiters behind the curtain. Talking about getting you kind of grounded right there, you know. We just couldn't help it. We just started laughing, and then it was over with. Okay, well, thanks a lot, and thanks for the super chats tonight, and we really sincerely appreciate it. And I will do my best to look at these emails. I might not get to them tonight, but I do go over them. I will do it tomorrow and answer what I can. And you will, if you come back and see us on Monday, unless something happens in the meantime, like if we get a break in a case, I am still following all the cases I do. I'll still follow them on NamUs and also on regular social media. If anything breaks, I'll be sure to come in and put out a short little live stream or possibly a short little video. We love you. God bless you. Stay safe from COVID, and hope to see you Monday. Good night.